Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and today we are doing a champion guide on the one, the only Skartorsis. So this chap, he's an Undead Hordes, Force Affinity, Legendary Support Champion, and he's one of the old school champs. He's been in it probably from the inception, to be honest, although I wasn't around then so I wouldn't know. Pretty cool looking champion, you know, not one of the best skins in the game, although I do really like the floating flaming skull. I find that really cool, but other than that there's nothing too much there. Obviously we get better champions these days, and let's take a look at his kit, shall we? So we've got the Hand of Doom. Ooh, the Hand of Doom. Attacks all enemies and has a 30% chance of stealing one random buff from each enemy. Pardon me. Right, so I'm going to start out by saying this champion is fully unbooked. With the way plariums are with the books at the moment, how hard they are to come by. I don't have any books. I'm not buying any books. I can't afford to buy any books, quite frankly, even if I wanted them. And I don't use this guy a load. I'm doing the guide on him because I think he's a cool champ that can help you in certain places, and I want to show that, do a guide on him basically. So I built him up, but not to the point where I'm going to throw books in him. Like I say, I just don't have them, and I don't have the money to buy them either anyway. And at the moment, with the way things stand with the game, I'm not too keen on spending. So yeah, basically he's unbooked at the moment. Otherwise you could book this up by a further 20%, giving him a 50% chance. I have actually taken a Mastery, which obviously bumps up by an extra 5, so he does have a 35% chance of stealing one random buff from each enemy. I kind of accounted for that in his kit and giving him accuracy to do so, but it's not a huge part, but you'll see why in a minute. So that's his A1. Then we've got his A2 command. Places a 50% increased attack buff and a 30% increased crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, can be booked down to 3. We've already discussed the book situation, so we're not going to go there again. It's an okay ability, it's not amazing. I will start out by even saying this is not one of my favourite champions in the game. I've actually got 2 of him, and I didn't really build him out for ages because I just didn't really feel the need. I've now built him out because I want to for Doom Tower for the likes of the Nether Spider, who quite frankly you really need, or it's really helpful to have good cleansers for, and so therefore I've built out him to help with that. I have a couple of other cleansers on my roster as well, but I think he's quite cool for it, so that's why I built him out, and I wanted to do a guide on him. So you know, we've built him out but not booked him basically. He's an okay champ, he's not one of the best champs going in the game. You know, if you've got a huge stable of champions, you may not build him out at all. On the other hand, if you don't and you're lacking in cleansed champions, he's by all means fairly decent. Rebirth, the A3, this is the important ability here. Heals all allies, then removes all debuffs from them. So heals them all and removes all the debuffs. The amount by which each ally is healed increases according to the number of debuffs on them. This is on the 7-turn cooldown when not booked, 5 when booked. I almost would want to book this if I could, if I had the books to put in him. And to be fair, you know, with a bit of playing, a bit more trial and error with him, if I think he's worth it, I might at some stage. But with all the champions coming out into the game and all the champions that we've got and how hard it is to get books, it's not a high priority. As much as I would like to book him, you know, until they bring out a way for us to farm books or farm pages or something like that, he's kind of redundant, you know. He's one of the old school champs, so he doesn't even take too many. It's 5 on this one, 5 on this one, so that's what, 10, and 1 on this one, so 11. I mean, it's still a lot of legendary books, and you know how hard they are to come by, so hence why not booked. Now, the other really cool thing about this chap, he's got an aura, increases ally speed by dungeons by 33%. This is huge. It may even be the largest ally speed in dungeons in the game. I'm not sure on that. I do have Fushan, who does it by 23, and that's really handy and really useful. This guy does it by 33, so you know that's massive. Actually, I think Fushan's 24, sorry. Whereas he does it by 33, so, 9 more, that's quite a big deal. So now we'll move on to his artifacts. We'll take a look at his total stats first. So his HP, I've got that up to a respectable 54k. He starts off with 20k, so I thought that was the better one to build on. Attack, I'm not worried about building on too much, a little bit here and there. I don't really feel he's a damage dealer. I don't feel he's going to do a lot of damage, so I didn't see the point in building him out that way. I built him to stay alive, to heal and debuff and strip buffs every 7 turns. That's the only bad thing. I must admit, I wish that as standard, because he's not the best of champions, was on a lower turn cooldown, and because the other bits on his kit are really not that good. He could do with that being on a lower cooldown, to be honest. There are epics, to be fair, that do that sort of stuff on lower turns. So, he really, being a legendary, he really should have it on a lower turn. This guy actually needs a bit of a buff, and one buff I would definitely do would be to bring that down by a couple of turns, and then he'd actually be really cool. Now, he does have a really high base speed, and that makes him really solid and easy, so much easier to build for speed. So I've got him up to 254 speed, the idea being that he's going to be going second in the arena to strip all those buffs, get everybody cleared up and ready to go. Crit rate I've not built him for, crit damage I've not built him for, resistance I tried to get bits here and there where I could, so it's up to 121, but I've not gone out of my way to do it. He's at a solid 326 accuracy, so that he can do those debuff strips with his A1. I know it's not the highest percent chance. If I ever book him out, obviously that will then go up and that will help, but where I was, what was the extra thing going to be? I'm not building him for damage, so I didn't need crit rate, I didn't need attack, I didn't need crit damage. So when I had that extra stat to look for or roll for, I went for accuracy, because it was like, at least it does something for him, rather than building him to do any damage. And that's the way we've gone with that. So banner wise, we've got him in an accuracy banner to boost that up with speed, defense, HP and attack. In this case, because his damage is based off of attack is useful for him. He's not a great damage dealer though, so it's not something I've stressed about doing. Like I say, I built him to be survivable, so I have concentrated on getting his attack and his HP up. His defense and his HP and his speed were the main things I was looking at. Then we've gone for like HP banner with resistance, defense, accuracy being the main one there. The ring's HP, he's got a couple of attack rolls, but it's also got some defense and some HP on it at least. It's not a great ring, but it was the best I had that I could stick on him. And then on top of that, I've gone for an immunity set. So the idea is you use this guy anywhere really. The immunity set is going to help stop him from getting debuffs and stuff, which is great. But in the arena in particular, it means he can go second if we get beat on speed. It doesn't happen to me that often these days, but the theory's still there and the idea's still there. Then he can go second and he can strip all those buffs off and make everyone good again, which was the idea with him. So obviously the speed set is the other bit we've gone for. We wanted him fast, so it made sense to go speed set. If you really wanted to try getting his accuracy up for that small chance to strip debuffs, you could go for something like that. HP set to build his HP up even higher, something like that, or one of the ones that heals on a 2-piece, stuff like that is beneficial for him. But since I wanted him fast, I went for the speed set. So we've gone for speed boots. I do apologise that we've got 6-star speed boots here. I actually took them off from another champion, so that they were already rolled up full. I didn't really have any other option for him. I was limited by what I could do because of the immunity gear here. I've gone for HP on the chest with speed, resistance, defense, accuracy, all good stats, except for the fact that it's a flat defense. Obviously I would have liked a defense percentage, but still at least we've got 10 speed out of it, which was kind of the main thrust, as well as getting the right main stat. Then I've gone for defense on the gloves. I probably would have preferred HP, but again it was going for what I could with what I had, and it had a good speed substat, which was the main thing I wanted here. Again, you got some attack, some crit rate, not that it really matters. Defense, again, not it's flat defense, but you take what you can get sometimes. The shield, we've gone for accuracy, a double rolling speed, the crit damage and the crit rate, again, I'm not worried about. I would have preferred better stats there for him, to be honest. The helmet, headpiece, you know, we've gone for, again, accuracy, speed, HP, defense. It's a theme all the way through. Same with the weapon. This is a nice piece with a triple speed roll, so we like that. It's got some resistance. The crit damage we're not bothered about. I've not rolled this up to full. I maybe should, but I'm a bit low on silver at the moment, so it will have to stay as is. It sort of balances out the fact that he's in 6-star fully rolled up boots, I suppose, a little bit anyway, so that way you could sort of say that he's basically in 5-star gear across the board. So now we're going to go take a look at this guy's masteries. I can actually just leave myself over here for once, which is nice. I will shift myself slightly to the left for this. So we've gone down the defense tree and the support tree. Defense with the defense roll, into mitigating AoE damage for the arena and the like. Gets more heals when the enemy's healing. It just makes sense to sort of help keep them topped up. We've gone for reduces damage from a specific champion. Again, it helps keep people like him alive. Then we've gone for the increase in turn meter by 15% when allies are attacked with a critical hit. And in a counter attack, just to give him a bit more chance. It's not going to be often that he's going to lose 25% of his max HP because it's so big, but at least, although I suppose that could happen fairly often in the arena actually, but it gives him a chance to then hit back and steal buffs again more often, so it made sense. On the other side of things, we've gone for mainly healing here, obviously, so we've gone for health. We've gone for one that heals the champion when an enemy's killed in the round. Increased value of heals, increased value of heals and shields, but he doesn't cast shields, so that's not really an issue there. Increased value of heals. We've gone for the increase in turn meter when a buff drops off because he casts buffs, just to help keep him going faster. Law of Steel to again boost his overall speed and whatnot. Eagle Eye just to help bump that chance on the A1 of stripping buffs a little bit. You could argue I would have been better off going lasting gifts here, but this allows me to then come down at Eagle Eye, which again gives him another 50 accuracy, making him more accurate, which helps for both the arena and for the Doom Tower for that A1 to strip buffs. It's not a huge part of his kit, but like I say, with his A2 being a bit naff as it is and not really doing too much, and his A3 actually being on a long cooldown, his A1's kind of his main ability in a way. Like I say, it's a real shame that his A3 is on such a long cooldown, but you've got to work with what you got, and that's the way this champion is built. I do think they should buff him. They should definitely make that A3 on a shorter cooldown, take it down by a couple, and maybe do something a bit more with that A2 just to give it a bit more oomph and punch. Basically, you know, there are epics out there that have better moves than that, and this guy's supposed to be a legendary, so... anyway, that's it for his artifact skills and masteries. We are now going to take him into some content and we'll show you what he can do. We're going to start off with a couple of dungeons. So Beam Force Affinity, he's fine for the Dragon's Lair, and we're going to stick him in there as our lead to actually try and give us a speed boost and see how that works. So we've got that nice speed boost there now to help us really move fast, and we'll see how this runs. So obviously he comes in, increases crit rate and attack straight off, boosting damage. You can see we're ticking along nice and fast. So we've got the dragon in about a minute. That's fairly standard for me. Obviously I don't have all the poisons and stuff to be blowing up and clearing those waves super fast. So it's just about getting everybody running fast and good turn meter control. So there we go, 1 minute 57. It's not my fastest was 1:17, but it's a respectable time and it can certainly help you with it. I don't think he brings enough to warrant putting him in here all the time. That's the only problem, because although that speed boost is huge, and you know, it depends on your teams. I mean, you know, with the teams I've got, I can just do more by putting more damage in and stuff, but you might not have that, at which point is speed boost in dungeons and keeping you cleansed and healing you up and stripping buffs could be a huge help for you. It just depends on your team. So Fire Knight is obviously the right affinity there, but we won't actually take him in. You've seen what he does. All he really brings is the heal, the increased crit rate and the increased attack, which is good. He's solid. He's just not as OP as so many other champions have these days. He just does need a buff, basically. The aura definitely helps. It's not bad in any way, shape or form. So he can help you in the Fire Knight. He could maybe do some work for you in Spider's Den, but I'd say only if he's booked, to be honest. And quite frankly, rather than an immunity set, I'd maybe look at putting him in a stun set, because he's got that AoE A1. Especially if you've got happen to use any counter attack or ally attack champions, then he'll help stun the spiders up and keep them under control somewhat, or at least have a chance to. And that would probably be a better option for him there. But then again, you can put him as your lead and he'll be bringing speed and helping you tick along fast, which is definitely very useful in Spider. So like I say, you definitely need to book him though to get that heal down to 5 turns, and even then I think that's a bit long, to be honest. You can take so much damage in the Spider that you really need it a bit more often than that, I think. So next up, we'll actually take him into the arena and try him on a couple of teams there. Actually, this is quite a good team to show him on. I actually want to go second, so we will take out Arbiter. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so they've gone first. We're all provoked. Okay, we're all dead, and I haven't got a reviver. I didn't really think that one through, to be fair. But, you know what, we'll come in, we'll just do that and sort of show you what he can do anyway, so. Obviously I've now not got any damage because they're all dead, and I've got no reviver in there, so that was a... Actually, we're just going to leave that one and edit this bit out, I think. Okay, so we've taken out my normal team. Anybody who's watched any of my arena videos, in fact, you know, if you go take a look over there, I'll pin a comment for the latest one I did. About an hour or nearly an hour of arena fun, and you know, good fun. If you like watching that, if you're not into watching arena fights, there's no point watching it, but if you do, it's some good fun, and you'll see how different teams work well against my team, and how my team works well against other teams, and how I change champions around to fit the situation as needed. So you might pick something up. So here we've gone for a more defensive team than what I'd usually go for. The idea being that we've got no decent speed lead, let's say, so we're trying to go second and still win. So we've got Anuka, who's very defensive, but also good against the one affinity we have here. Skartorsis heals us up and strips, and then we've also got Cardinal to pick everybody up if they happen to get a fall down, and then obviously Warlord's in there just to provide a little control and also put up some shields and help with the healing, since Skartorsis is not the best healer due to the long cooldown on it, you know. And we'll see how this goes. So, right, we've all been provoked. Ouch, that's bad. But because they're a bit more defensive, they're all up. Here we go, we'll strip that provoke off. Now we can take control of the fight. Warlord can come in and decrease cooldowns. I mean, if you don't have somebody like Warlord, having your own Umbral Enchantress in there would actually work quite well here. They'll have block debuffs up, so I could have come in and then taken control by provoking everybody, so she'd actually be very good with this sort of team. Nobody needs healing, so we'll just try putting a poison out there on somebody. We'll do a bit of damage. Okay, let's put a no, let's try and do some damage to Arbiter. Do the one thing I really could have done with on this team, to be fair, is a buff strip as well, but that would have meant leaving Warlord out really. I mean, we've got a little bit of a buff strip in him, obviously. We've now lost our reviver, so we have to be careful here. We can go first. Good. Right, there you go. So we went second. No speed lead whatsoever. And we still won the fight. Now, it could have gone either way, and that is the case sometimes, you know, and you maybe need to tweak the odd champion here to take advantage of the situation. But as you saw, we went second, we had no speed lead, we're in goal 4, and we still won the fight. And they had a higher team power, but it doesn't matter if you build the right team in the right way. And immunity cleansers are actually really good for this. They allow you to go second, come in, strip all that stuff off. It don't matter. Have a good reviver in the team just in case they manage to nuke you down in that first hit or two. That's tanky. They can then pick everybody up, and then you can still come back. Using a more tanky team like this one is actually the better option. Like I say, Umbral works well for it. She's a defensive based champion, provokes, so you don't have her there as your fastest champion, although you can always go that route, but you're better off doing that as your second fastest if you've got a speed lead. But without a speed lead, obviously she's probably just been provoked and everything else. But that's where the cleanser comes in. He rips off all the provoke. She can come in and do her provoke. You've now got control of the match. You've now got 2 or 3 turns to take control of everybody and just nuke them down and do what damage you can to them, and bring in the right affinity nuker and stuff, and you're golden, you know. We're not going to do any more on that. We're going to jump into the Doom Tower. That really showed you exactly how that's supposed to work. So, Doom Tower, yeah, Griffian, we're not supposed to be having buffs, so he could be a problem for that one. But cleansers and healers do come in handy. He puts out debuffs. We'll take him out, we'll put him in and see how this goes. Obviously this works out quite well because we've now got an increased attack for Septimus as well as increased defense for the other two champs. So right, we'll take it off of auto. He's not the best boss to try in auto really. Removes all buffs and attacks all enemies. The buff removal cannot be resisted. Yes, we don't want to do that just yet. There we go. Now it would be nice if we had a decreased defense champion in here. We don't have that, so we're just going with our big hit. Oh, it transfers all debuffs, so we don't want to put any more debuffs out if we can help it, because he's not used that yet. We can now put the buffs up because we've got a while for that. Just use the A1 again. There we go, so he's used that one. We might as well use that for the heal. We can now put on other debuffs for the moment. How long's that last? 2 turns. We've got 1 turn left on that. So no, we're not going to do that now. Now we can buff. Didn't really want that, but you know. Just took a while on that, so we'll put the increased defense up. Heal. Now obviously Mausoleum Mage helps the fact that we've got the 2 healers in here. Actually what we might find is we might not have enough damage in the race, so we have to be careful with that, and it'd maybe be a question of remove Mausoleum Mage to bring in another DPSer. Oh, I should have used the cleanse there, forgot to. Okay, we'll use it there. Septimus is in trouble. Problem is the buffs were lasting too long. And we're now getting in some trouble for that. Yeah, Septimus is down. We don't actually have a reviver on this team. Don't really need that anymore, but Before he's up to 19, so we're in dangerous territory here. We really could have done with Septimus still being up, to be honest. I did say we might be in trouble for damage. But we manage it anyway. Not the fastest, as you can see, but he certainly helps. And you know, he could have taken the place of Mausoleum Mage, to be fair, put in another damage dealer, and he probably would have done perfectly fine. He just doesn't heal quite as well as Mausoleum Mage. Quite frankly, if I've got a choice between the two, I'm probably going to go for Mausoleum Mage. He does what Skartorsis does with the heals and with the removing of the debuffs, but he puts better buffs on, and he also puts decreased speed on, which in many respects is useful. So, and he's just shorter cooldowns, and that's where they've gone wrong with this guy, and he does definitely need a buff. If you need somebody to cleanse and heal, he can do it, but he certainly isn't the best out there, and the fact that I'd prefer an epic or even a couple of epics over him says everything about this champion, and says why they really need to look at him and rework him. Anyway, that was Skartorsis. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know it was a good video and more people should watch it. And you know, if you enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and you'll get notified next time I release a video. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers for watching. Bye.